that era of kids television was magical and funny and perfectly at the right time. It was like lightning in a bottle, I think.
Jade was always my favorite character in Victorious. Just so edgy and intimidating.
Yeah, I related a lot to Jade. She also rubbed off on me a lot because she wasn't really like America's sweetheart.
You and Ariana Grande were both on 13, and then you ended up landing Victorious together. Were you guys like so excited when you both got the part?
Surreal to be doing all that with your best friend, and it was amazing. I will always send her things too, to just be like, do you understand that you're nominated for an Oscar? I mean, things like that. It's just unbelievable.
Elizabeth Gillies, welcome to Poster on High.
Hi. I feel like I have a poster on high, and I'm sweating, which is freaking me out.
Okay, you were just telling me a little bit about the lore behind You Don't Sweat.
Yeah, I really don't until today as a person, and then there was a whole thing because my character on Victorious, Jade, famously said that she doesn't sweat, that sweating is gross, so she doesn't do it. And I've kind of lived by that like my whole life, and I really don't do kind of I don't exert myself that much. I don't. Anyway, I think the combination today of the like corduroy hat I'm wearing, that does match the chair, the humidity outside, the high temperatures, and then the jogging and sometimes sprinting accidentally that we did outside, you've taken me there. So I'm sitting here sweating in an interview, which makes me, I'm humbled. Let's just say that.
No, I love it. You did incredible on the run. We ran about a mile through Brooklyn. Every time I say the word Brooklyn, I don't know why, but I like tongue twister it.
Brooklyn?
But I actually did a pretty good job there.
You can't say Brooklyn. Of course you
Isn't
can.
Isn't that weird?
Brooklyn?
It's like
Brooklyn.
Such a word bomb.
Just say Dumbo.
Dumbo.
It's easier.
Yeah, we ran a couple miles through Dumbo.
Yeah.
A mile.
It was pretty. It was pretty by the water. It was a good call to go that way.
But I find it so funny that you say you don't sweat, because I would imagine when you're running around on stage with a full face of makeup, like do you sweat then or no?
No. Audrey's not like a princess track because she does have a lot going on in the show, but I get breaks. So it's like I'll go, my character, the name is Audrey that I'm playing in the show, Little Shop of Horrors right now. And I get breaks. So it's like Seymour, the lead character, gets no breaks. He's almost never off stage. So that's a sweaty role for sure. But no, I try not to, and I generally don't. So I'm really shocked right now. Mm-hmm. Do I look really gross?
No, you look great.
Maybe I look glowy, which never happens because I like to matte my face down like a corpse. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First sweaty podcast.
Yeah.
First sweaty interview.
And last, I hope. But I'm happy to be here with you. And I'm proud of myself and us. Proud of you for being able to look at me like this, and proud of me for not leaving.
I'm proud of you. You look incredible. Let's talk about movement in your life outside of performing and outside of me making you run.
Okay.
Like, what does movement look like for you?
I love taking a good walk. I love hiking. Have you heard of the ranch? I've done the ranch twice.
No.
It's basically a hiking retreat. I did it in Malibu and I did it in Hudson Valley in New York. And you hike for about 4 hours a day, quite difficult terrain, and you cut caffeine and sugar and everything, and it's a retreat for anywhere from like I think 3 to 7 days or something like that. So I usually do the short one
with random people.
Oh yes, with random people. I brought my mom the first time, my friend Raphael the second time, which was funny. But no, you're supposed to do it with random people and get to know them because it's intense and you're like tortured, but it's also luxurious and fantastic. So that's very interesting. But movement wise, I'm a very hyper person. And I'm very into errands, and I'm into a lot of housework. And it's funny because I have an Oura ring, and it recognizes when I do housework. But the calories I'll burn and the steps I'll get in, like sometimes 30,000 steps doing housework, which is amazing. But no, I mean, I'm dodging around the question, which is I don't work out. I don't run unless it's like someone's like, do you think you can run faster than me? Then I'm like, yeah, I can. And I'll sprint and then I'll hurt myself. Or like my husband, I got a rowing machine and I went down and saw like his score or whatever. And then I beat it, but then I was injured for 3 days. So that's kind of my relationship with working out. It's all rooted in competitiveness and challenges and challenging myself and not health. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. I get the competitiveness. I mean, I feel like
not bad competitive.
No, it's being competitive
Incentive.
is always a good thing in my mind. I mean, some people take it a little bit too far.
I hate that. I can't
like the people that take being competitive in board games too far is scary.
I know some people like that. It can be fun, but it's crazy.
Yeah, my dad gets a little too competitive with board games, and I've had to not play with him
Board
anymore.
games with the Grandes, that's an intense thing, but it's very cool. It's an honor.
Oh, what's
Ariana? Ariana's family is famously, they're incredibly competitive and into board games. They even did one of her Saturday Night Live sketches was based off of that sort of a little bit. And and yeah, I've played with them a few times and it's always very memorable. they're incredible, but I know what you mean.
What board games?
Something for Neanderthals. That was the last one we played. Poetry for Neanderthals. I think it's very fun. I brought it home to my family, and then we all went crazy playing it. So I think it's maybe the game, but yeah, it was really funny.
Oh my
really
God, I
fun.
need to try it. I love a good board game. I really like Catan, but playing Catan with my family sometimes gets...
Yeah, it takes it. Everyone separates in the house after you play. Everyone needs a little private time to regroup. Remember why you love each other. I'm sorry. This is something I do. I'll majorly derail the conversation.
No, I love this.
I was saying that I don't work out. I'm not self-motivated. Like I won't just go down to the gym because I know it'll help my overall health. That's insane. Even or body. Like I was like, that's not enough for me. But if I'm like I remember I had to do, I did this movie, the remake or whatever, of Vacation, and I had to be in a bikini, and they cast me like 2 weeks before, and I remember I just took like cardio bar or whatever the equivalent was back then every day for 2 weeks. So that's a great example of like I don't do anything, and then I do that, and then I injure myself, and then I stop doing it for like 6 months. I go too hard.
Yeah, but you can't be 100% all the time with working out. Like, I feel like it's best when you go in waves like that, and like you really go hard when you have to get ready for something.
Right.
Like that's how I feel. Everybody's been, I mean, I work out a lot for my job, but like I used to run all the time. Like before I started the running interview show, I would run like 6 miles a day, which is nuts.
Does running help your mental a lot too? That's what people say.
Yeah. Like I feel like it's more mental for me than it is physical.
Right.
Now if it's like, if I want to get in shape for something, like I have my wedding coming up in September. And so I'm like, okay, as soon as it hits August, like I'm going to start going to like toning classes.
You're so perfect though. You don't need to do anything.
No, like
but I know you want to feel a certain way.
Yes.
I totally
like
get
I'm
it.
just like everybody says they work out.
I'll tell you what though, I
wedding.
lost 10 pounds before my wedding purely out of stress because of all the things. It's like it becomes, I mean, between like, and mine was a tiny little pandemic wedding, but it's like the flowers and the this and the that, and then there was like a storm and a power outage, and maybe we won't have cater. It was just like there was so much going on, and then we also drove an RV from Atlanta up to New Jersey with our dogs. So all that, I think it'll just happen on its own. You won't have to do that much at all.
I kind of wish ours was a small pandemic wedding at this point. I'm
wedding?
like, it's too big.
That's what happened to mine. The wedding got bigger than big. If you're a Sex and the City fan. That's what happened. And then I ended up having like a Marnie from Girls wedding, which was like my dream. Did you watch Girls?
I did watch Girls.
Remember her little farm wedding with
Yes,
the flower
I do.
crowns?
Yes. But I'm more of a Sex and the City girl than I am a Girls girl.
Gotcha.
But I love Girls.
But so you were having like Carrie's wedding at the public library.
I feel like that. I mean, I just have a really big family. I'm like, my family is Italian and Irish, and I'm
Me
like,
too.
why does
right, because
everybody
we're
have
from
so
New Jersey.
many kids?
Those are the only options. That's amazing.
Yes.
My dad's one of 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how many cousins do you have?
Infinite. I don't know. In the 30s or 40s. Tons.
So how many people ended up being at your wedding?
10 total. Yeah, we had to. It was kind of cool because our original wedding was going to be over 200 because I wanted to invite all the aunts and the uncles. And, you're going to get people angry. It's like even if you don't want to invite someone, that person gets mad. So everyone was coming. It was going to be at the St. Regis, Atlanta. Couldn't have been more different. And then it was at a farm in New Jersey.
I love that.
It was awesome. And it was hot like it is today, maybe hotter. So like all my makeup was gone and my hair was curly and frizzy by the first, but it was perfect and beautiful and wonderful. And I wouldn't trade it. And your wedding will be beautiful too. September's good.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's rewind a bit because I loved finding out that you were from New Jersey. I did not know that until doing a little research on you.
Thank you for doing research.
So, and I grew up in New Jersey as well. So 2 fellow Bergen County Jersey girls sitting down here today. So I'd love for you to take us back and just paint the picture a little bit about what your life was like growing up in the early years in Jersey and then kind of how you broke into the industry.
Well, we're about the same age, right? I'm 31. Oh my God, I guess I'm gonna be 32. That's silly. This month, 2 weeks.
Happy almost birthday.
Oh, thanks. I think it was one of the best times to be a kid, in my opinion. I think the 90s and early 2000s were so much fun, and it was a very different time, and it was awesome. I got to have a totally normal childhood, actually, which sounds like funny because I didn't go to high school, but I mean, I knew a lot of kids that started acting when they were babies in commercials and stuff, and I didn't leave school and go do, start the journey with the Broadway show I ultimately did when I was 15 until high school. So I have all my same core best friends from when I was 5, 6 years old that I still hang out with now. I got to go through all of, middle school, elementary school with all of them. And I actually went to prom like twice. I finagled it somehow. Even when I was on Victorious, I tagged along with friends and it was wonderful. And my parents were, I literally wouldn't exist because of them, but I also wouldn't be anywhere in my career without them because my parents would leave work and take me to auditions. My mom would drive me. She'd pull me out of school and drive me. I mean, I think so much of being able to make it or being successful in this type of industry where there's so much chance and auditions and appointments and things that lead to nothing a lot of effort. It's the parents saying, okay, I'm going to help you or not, because kids can't drive a car and there's only so much they could do, which is why it's cool that there's the internet in this way now, because they can get seen in a different way or get scouted. Or back then you had to have someone go drive you to like the local place where agents were in town for like a day, and then maybe you'd get an agent, maybe you could do a commercial, which is what happened to me.
Right. And like, did your parents weren't in the industry, right?
Oh God, no.
I think the hardest part is figuring it out, right? And like knowing even how to go to auditions.
And I think because I was like maybe 40 minutes from the city, it's easier than when you're like in the middle of America, or in middle America rather, or you're far away and it seems really unattainable. I saw it and I heard about it. I heard about kids being on Broadway in my town. And to this day, that is like the most impressive thing you can do. I've done TV, I've done film, I've done so many episodes of television, and it just doesn't matter. No one cares. Something about Broadway, or I'm off Broadway right now, but luckily people just say they just say it's Broadway. But the respect and the credit gets, maybe because of the lore of New Jersey and going into the city, and it's so close and people know what it looks like and is, where Hollywood sort of feels abstract to them. So everyone from my town has been coming out. It's been very funny.
No, I mean, I love Broadway. I think there's something about live theater that is just so impressive in the way that, and we're going to get to Little Shop of Horrors and, your schedule right now, but it's insane. It's like 8 shows a week. Actually, my episode with Allie Trim, who's currently playing Glinda on Broadway,
how
that
amazing.
You know well.
Yes, well, Graham and I, who were in 13 together, he's my Seymour right now, and Allie was Patrice, and we're all doing it right now.
You're all doing it,
and we're all old.
No,
that's what happens.
You guys are
we were 13, now we're all 31. Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're adults.
Yeah.
But I still feel like a kid.
You do?
Do
I
you?
do sometimes. Yeah, I do feel like a kid.
This
show,
I
had a very youthful experience on this show. I was like, everyone around me was younger, especially the first leg of my run, and I was doing a lot of fun things and like living out my college years that I never had. So that was really fun. But so goes with me. I just need like 5 minutes of that experience, and I'm back to my usual. Like, I went to high school for like 5 days, and I was like, I love it. I got it. What's next? Let's move on. So, but no, I still feel young sometimes. I feel young when I'm doing theater because it's my first love, and I feel like, I'd be stoked if kid me saw me doing this now. So that's good.
Kid you would be so impressed by everything you've done, though.
I think so. I hope so.
When you were in those early years, like, what was it that your parents, like, who saw the spark in you first? Was it you that saw it and you were like, Mom and Dad, I really want to audition for things? Or did your parents say, wait, she's really talented?
I think it's a combination. They definitely didn't come up with the idea to like put me in anything other than classes. I think they're like, oh, she loves to dance and sing and be loud and obnoxious. We should put her in acting and singing and dancing classes. But it was me who was like, we're going to take this to the next level. I'd like to do this as a profession. I'm going to find a way. Maybe at 9 or 10, I started that trip, and they're like, okay, weirdo. So they went with it and luckily nurtured it. And but no, I led the charge on that one. But they were really, I think, it helps. They did see that I had an apt for it, like that I was kind of not horrible. It must be hard when your kid loves something and they are bad at it, and they're setting themselves up for. But there's failure in everything. I've experienced tons of failure. It's part of life. It's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it makes you
Talent's
more resilient.
just a really small part of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it, I think.
At what point, like, how old were you when you started out doing commercials, right? Like, that was your first on-screen thing.
Yeah.
The Virgin Mobile
video was one of my first, and there was this other like little speaker thing, and I did like a print ad for H&M. That was really funny. I thought I was a model for 5 minutes. I had a print. I was not. Like, many things I was, but that but I was like, I walked in thinking it was like America's Next Top Model, and then it was like an H&M ad for children. So like they only put mascara on me, and I was like, shouldn't I be balancing on one foot with like seaweed over my chest and like a bird in my head? And they're like, I think it's different kind of modeling, Liz, for people that look average. But so
oh my God, you do not, guys. Stop.
You didn't know what I looked like when I was a kid.
Beautiful.
I had buck teeth, and it was a different, it's like we've sorted out most of it, but I don't identify as like
but to be
a little
fair,
model kid. Like there's no chance.
I was watching reruns. I watched this, I literally watched 40 minutes of iconic Jade moments this morning.
Oh my God. To prepare
just
for
to
this?
get hyped. Just to get excited, because Victoria, it's just, you were part, and again, like we'll get to Victorious, but one of the things that I was thinking about, I was watching you guys, is everybody was so cute. Like I look
babies,
back at
children.
Yeah. And like, I look back at my high school self and I'm like, that doesn't even look like me now, but like you do look like yourself, you know?
I came back to it. I had many journeys physically. I had a journey physically, but I haven't done anything to like permanently modify my appearance. So occasionally I will like go right back to kind of sort of how I looked when I was young, which is nice and it's cute to like see.
That's a good way to think about it.
You know what I mean?
We do go back to a certain version of ourselves at some point. I agree with
I
that.
think you do.
Yeah,
and I did kind of this year. I went through a couple weird like trends and weird things, and I get a freaky thing after I finish a job. I don't want to look like whatever character that was. I won't have it with this one because I was in really specific makeup and a wig every night, and it was the 1960s. But like after Dynasty, I couldn't look at myself with blonde hair, and after Victorious, I couldn't look at myself with black hair. Like it's like I just want to like shed the character for myself, not from the universe. Everyone can love it forever, but yeah, I was a kiddo for sure. I always felt old though, and I always looked in the mirror, and it was almost like Freaky Friday where I was like, how do I look like a 15-year-old kid and I feel like a 40-year-old woman? This is so frustrating.
Yeah, well, you're also forced, I feel like, to mature so quickly because you're literally like, you're a child playing an adult game.
I guess so. I just was like, I was just looking at myself like, I guess I'll just wait it out until I guess I need more time in the oven because I don't agree with how I look right now. I never wanted to look like a kid. I was like, ugh. And I still don't. That would be weird if I wanted to look like a 14-year-old now. But, you know, maybe mid-20s.
Okay, well, let's talk about you going from commercials to then auditioning for Broadway and getting onto 13. Yeah. Such an iconic cast of people that you were with. Yep. Yes, like we've got you, Ali Trim, Ariana Grande, Max, Graham Phillips, who you're now performing with again. Like, what was it like being on 13 during those years? Like, what was that experience? Or sorry, those months, right? 13 was how long was 13?
So short. Yeah,
it was like 4 months.
We opened during the recession and it closed pretty quickly. I think after 100 performances, I've actually now done more performances of Little Shop than I did of 13, which is really interesting. I mean, it was fun. I got that audition and I had been auditioning for some Broadway stuff, but I went in there and I really kind of like put my head down. And I mean, you know, Ari describes that experience of like how she's like, she claims I like didn't talk to anyone and I was like in a corner, like determined to, but I really didn't. I was kind of like, I need to book this job. I'm not here to make friends, as they say on reality shows. And then of course I made lifelong friends once I booked it, but it was crazy. We did the reading together and then we did the, off-Broadway run in Connecticut, and then we did the Broadway show. So we were with it for, it was a truncated amount of time, but it felt like a long journey. And now the show is sort of taken on a life of its own. It's become really popular in colleges and high schools, and maybe not colleges, they're probably too old, right? Yeah, high schools, middle schools, preschools.
Like there's been a lot of reenactments of it.
Oh yeah, they do them.
That.
Yeah, and they made a movie of it on Netflix, which is different, but came out.
What was it like going from being in commercials and like child acting, like kind of in your town, to then all of a sudden being on Broadway and performing?
It felt correct. I was like, this is what I wanted. This is going pretty according to timeline so far. And then I booked the Nickelodeon show right after that. So I was like, good. This is all working out. Check.
Oh my gosh. So you were like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Did you ever have moments of doubt? Because I feel like the hardest part, like when I was talking to Ali, like the hardest thing for her was, you know, she books 13 and then it was kind of like, well, what's next?
Sure. It's always what's next. They ask you what's they being like just people, especially people who aren't in the industry, but even on red carpets and stuff too. They'll always ask you what's next. Like when it's your like first week on the job or like when your movie's coming out. And you're like, I don't know. I'm just here and I'm happy to be here right now. I've learned to be a little more selective because I noticed that every time I have signed onto a project, and it's been a lucky thing, like it'll become a really big chunk of my life. And this last one I just did was a really big chunk of my life. It was like 5 years. And I think after that job, after Dynasty, that was the first and only time I was like, I don't know if I want to keep, I love this, but the industry has also changed so much since the pandemic and since the strike. That and having just come off such a sort of grueling schedule and show, I was like, maybe I just want to like hang out and I don't want to do this right now. Maybe I'll own like a flower shop. Maybe this is not fulfilling in the same way. But I would say this show brought me back to loving it again, and I can't imagine not doing it now. And I can't imagine not doing theater now, for sure. But no, I never really had time to totally. I had doubts. I mean, like it was all because I grew up physically. I did feel like I was mentally kind of grown up. I probably wasn't, but physically grew up on kids TV on Victorious. I think that was the hardest thing. That's when I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can. I should just wait until we've arrived at the final form to like do this, because watching it was torturous for me because I'm a perfectionist. And I was like, I don't want to see myself get pimples and gain weight and lose weight and it's like, you know, you're like, you usually do that in the privacy of your hometown in high school, but it's what I wanted. So I was like, it's what you wanted. And it was good that I did it.
Yeah, it is a really vulnerable time, like in your adolescence.
You just hate yourself at that time.
You hate yourself,
You hate yourself. And I just hated how I looked. It was I really wanted to look like Sharon Stone. I was like, I want to look like a gorgeous 40-year-old film actress, or like I want to look like Mrs. Robinson from The Graduate. Why do I look like this? I don't understand why I look like a child. And everyone's like, because you're young. It's weird. Like I literally had like dysmorphia. I was like, I feel like a middle-aged, like glamorous woman. Why don't I look like this? It's driving me crazy. So that was weird. But I definitely went through that.
Interesting.
Weird, yeah.
Yeah, you're like an old soul.
Yeah, I didn't want to look like a cool, hot 20-year-old. I wanted to look like a sophisticated middle-aged woman.
I feel like what was kind of nice then for you with Jade is at least you did
costume.
you got to wear a little bit of a costume. Like I can't imagine being like Victoria Justice just had to be like herself, right? In a way.
I mean, Vic is so hot and always was that like
she was same.
She was the one to be doing that. I was like,
that's true.
Yeah, Vic looked amazing and was so perfect for Tori and that whole thing. And no, I was so lucky to have colors in my hair and black hair and piercings, and that was a huge help. Yeah. It informed how I dressed a lot too and how I carried myself. But that was a huge help. Yeah. I'm thankful for that. And I loved it. I loved the vibe. Yeah. I still have a goth side of me for sure.
I was going to ask you that. Like the thing about Jade, Jade was always my favorite character in Victorious. Like the Jade character was just so edgy and intimidating and like sweet, but also like had this like
you had to work at it though. She's like a cat.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, we're similar. Yeah, it's funny. I was with a cat. I'm never with cats, and I was with a cat last night. My cousin has a cat, and I was like, this really is like my personality. And I'm such a dog person, but maybe it's because I don't want to confront the fact that I am a cat. But no, yeah, I related a lot to Jade, and I think she also rubbed off on me a lot.
So you and Ariana Grande were both on 13, and then you ended up landing Victorious together. How did the Victorious audition come to be? And were you guys like so excited when you both got the part?
Yeah, it was insane. We were all auditioning from 13. They knew there were like a bunch of talented, multifaceted performer children down the street, and Viacom, which is the company that owns, like MTV and Nickelodeon and everything, or did at the time, they were right in the corner on the same street. So we were all like running over there on our day off or before the shows or on our lunch break to audition, all of us. And Ari and I got a screen test, which is just the wildest thing in the world. So we both flew out with our moms to LA to screen test for this show together. And then we ultimately booked it, and it was just completely surreal. We shared a dressing room at the time. So it was like a total dream come true. I remember us booking it and then going out there to live and shoot ultimately, and then like taking a tour of the Hollywood sign and seeing the celebrity homes, and just like the corniest but most joyful thing you could ever imagine. It was really cool, but surreal to be doing all that with your best friend. I mean, it was amazing. And we lived together, and
not knowing how much your life was going to change post and during the show.
No, I mean, no. It was just amazing. We went and sang outside of different celebrities' houses, like trying to get record. I don't know what the point was. It's just funny to think about now.
It is so cute. Yeah. At what point, like how many years was Victorious on for?
It was only on, they maybe stretched it into 4 years, but we only shot for 3 years. Yeah. It was short, but it was nonstop.
It's amazing to think how it was short, because it felt like it took up such a big part of like my childhood.
Yeah, of course.
So it's
And the
wild.
reruns, I mean, it just lives forever,
Yeah, it's so good. Those were like the OG days of like Nickelodeon and Disney. I mean, obviously, like we're not watching those channels anymore, but
I don't even know.
I don't even know if they can compete with the shows that you got, like with Victorious and Hannah Montana. And
it was a different time. It was the perfect time, I think.
Was.
And I think tonally, it was like the jokes were so good and the music was so incredible. It was just all so good.
Yeah, I asked on my Instagram story for anybody that had questions to ask you, and one of the questions, there's two of the most popular questions that came in was, what's your favorite Jade one-liner?
Oh, one-liner, yeah. I mean, I always say, for this interview, I'm gonna have to go with sweating is gross, so I don't do it, just because of the hypocrisy of it all. I'm gonna go with that one. as I sit here. I'm not sweating anymore. I just want everyone to know that. There's 9 cameras. Okay, great.
What was your favorite Victorious song that you had to sing?
It was exciting for me to do the song that I wrote for the show, which was You Don't Know Me. I wrote it during season 1, and then it didn't get used. And then towards the end, they surprised me and they wanted to use it, which was really cool. So that was exciting. But Take a Hint, I think maybe it's maybe one of the best songs in the show and was one of the best moments. And I get asked, or people sing that at me, I think the most. It gets sung at me a lot in my face, almost like a gift or an attack. I don't know which one it is, but I accept it.
Yeah, there's just so many funny moments from Victorious. Like when I was watching, oh my gosh, like in the rerun that I was watching this morning, it's like the kite thing where you like walk into.
Oh, and I'm sad. I'm trying to hide that I'm crying.
Yeah.
That was hard for me because I really am not a crier at all. And then I was like, Jade has to keep crying. And I was like, I actually don't even know how to cry. I don't cry unless I'm like flipping out, maybe once a year. But that was a fun one with her mascara dripping down her face. It was very cute. It was like a classic sitcom. It was so well written and the cast was so talented. And it was just like everything was working perfectly at the right time. It was like lightning in a bottle, I think. Yeah.
How do you feel like 13 and being on Broadway and kind of that fast-paced environment set you up for Victorious? Like
it was great. I was ready to go. I mean, the thing that gets harder, that it will be hard again when I go back to film and TV after doing like this show, the waiting around and the repetition, I think that's the hardest thing. But the being ready, being professional, being able to perform live, if you're able to do a 2-hour show live and know all your lines and hit your marks perfectly because you only get one shot at it, you're in pretty good shape going into a film and TV set. I think the stamina of being able to sit through multiple takes or 7 or 8 hours of waiting on end is the difficult part with film and TV, in my opinion. Also with theater, you get the opportunity to do the show from beginning to end every night. So you have the correct emotional journey, where film and TV, the schedule's all mixed up. You might shoot the final, biggest, most emotional scene in something on day 1. And then, the next scene you shoot will be like, you wouldn't even have met the person that you just filmed dying in your arms a second before. It's all out of order. So you have to be ready to be flexible emotionally with that. But I love live theater right now.
Yeah, I was interviewing, I think her name's Elia Scott. Okay. But anyway, she was saying that what she loves about live theater versus on-screen performances is that you don't have to do a retake. It's kind of like it is what it is in that one take, and it's different every time.
No, and that's the great thing. I mean, now people film it, which is such a bummer. And they never film the ones you want them to film. That's what I found.
Oh, like the bootleg stuff?
Oh, the bootleg with Milo and I that's out?
I haven't seen it.
Well, yeah, don't. It's like, it must have been like a week or 2 in. I actually found out the date of it because I think they caught the person who did it. And I was like, I actually need to know what date this was for a multitude of reasons. One, my wig is literally, it starts in the middle of my head. I look like Dunice. What's the character of Kristen Wiig where she has the little hand and she's one of the sisters on Saturday Night Live? Well, if you look it up and you look at the image of her, it's exactly how I look in this bootleg. My wig starts in the center of my head. I have a 9 head, maybe an 11 head, not a 4 head. And the performance in that bootleg, it just in no way resembles sort of what I do every night or where I landed. I was still figuring it out. But that's the only thing, like everyone wanting to film now and put it online but that's the reality. What can you do?
Well, we even said it when we were filming The Run, but it's very different. Like,
does someone bootleg our run?
When Jeremy was filming in front of us, versus when Jeremy was filming in front of us with the extra camera versus the iPhone camera, like how you perform to something close up is very different than how you perform to it far away.
I don't even know what my legs are going to look like in the far one. I mean, they're probably tangled. Like I literally was I was like, she can probably only see this. So I was like this. Yeah. And the rest of my body, God even knows.
No, and I have a lot of people message me saying like, can you post all of your videos as like horizontal videos on YouTube? I get a lot of people asking, and I'm like, we've tried, but it is, and like we can, but it's very different when you're performing for something up close to your face versus far away, and just
especially when it's athletic.
They're different things.
Of course. I had to learn on Dynasty. That was a big thing for me. Like the wides were one thing, and I would be and I'm in these clothes with these heels and my posture and everything like that. And then when you get close, it's like you're focusing on different things. It is an art, and I would have done it today had I known, but it's okay.
It is an art. I also feel like acting on screen and like on stage, it's so vulnerable. Like you have to be so comfortable with yourself.
Yeah,
I guess
you gotta let it all go. You gotta let it. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors you can do with filming, like for TV, but no, stage is just like you're just out there.
What do you mean smoke and mirrors? Like,
well, I mean, you're being lit a certain way. They can create illusions to make you look taller or shorter or thinner or this or that. But I mean, theater. You're just a body on a stage, usually in a bit of overhead lighting. So yeah, it's very raw. It's very real. It's cool. I love it. I just love it.
We talked a little bit about like watching yourself grow up on Victorious. I'm curious because a lot of people always talk about like Disney stars, Nickelodeon stars, and just being a child star in general, and how that comes with like a lot of public scrutiny for the first time and like the pressure to act a certain way. I always think about like the Kids' Choice Awards, you know? Like, did you feel like when you were playing Jade on Victorious that like publicly you had to act a certain way and be like
kids are still disappointed sometimes when I don't like yell at them, like, or if I'm wearing pink or I look too, like, it's kind of a bummer for them. I've noticed it's more exciting when I and I'll make an effort if I know where I'm going and what's going on. I lean into that a little more because I get it. Like, if you have a character you love and they come and they're totally different, like, I don't really care how you are as a person. I want you to be like the person that I knew and grew up loving. So I totally get that. As far as scrutiny or like having to act a certain way, I think I got lucky with the character that I played because she wasn't really like America's sweetheart, and she also was a bit acerbic and different and offbeat. And I think actually it was a blessing. It never boxed me into having to be like have a cookie cutter personality or be overly careful when I did interviews or anything like that, because I don't know, people weren't coming for me in that specific way. They weren't expecting me to be like the girl next door. Like, I think the pressures were different on like Victoria than they would have been. She was also the lead, but then on me, someone who's playing Jade, because it's like, you know, Jade's like yelling at everyone and cutting everything up and punching things and wearing all black and making jokes with severe innuendo. I mean, I left Nickelodeon and I went to do a show on FX called Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll, and it was fine. My fans were like, this is cool. Like, I immediately went and did that, and it was totally fine. So I didn't have that same, I don't even know what the word is. I don't want to say box. I don't want to say restraint.
It's like typecasting in a way.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I got typecast in a different way. Like, I don't think, for years, no one would ever see me. I don't think they still would as like the girl next door. They want me to be like the mean friend or like the strong, you know, bossy lead. That hasn't gone away. But I like those roles, so it's okay with me. I like playing strong.
Yeah, you play a lot of like strong, bold characters, which I love.
Yeah, there are worse boxes to be boxed in.
Right. I mean, that's like a fun category to be portraying. Was there like a, friendly competitiveness between Disney Channel stars and Nickelodeon stars?
I don't think I ever saw them. We really didn't. We didn't really mingle that much. No, I don't think so. They say we're different. Mm-hmm. Maybe we are. I don't know now. I don't know what the worlds are like now. I mean, I got along with Milo. He was my last co-star on Milo Manheim, and he's a big Disney star, and we got along just fine. Mm-hmm. We're from different generations.
Yeah,
but I don't know what the stigma is or what the rumors are. But maybe we're different. I don't know. The Nick kids were. I always thought like the Nick kids were cool, and the Disney kids were more like. But I don't think that's true. Look through some Disney girls. They're cool.
I mean, Miley Cyrus is so cool. I'm obsessed with her. Obsessed. I saw her at Lollapalooza, and I was like, she is a rock star. Like, up there with her microphone.
Oh, she's very cool. And I love all her vintage Bob Mackie.
Oh, my God.
It's just spectacular.
Yeah. How did being on a major network like Nickelodeon shape you today?
The experience was, I mean, being kind of like a fixture of people's childhood, I think, changed my life and shaped who I am today, and that I wouldn't have otherwise been. But other than that, it's just a job. I don't know. Yeah. No. Yes and no. I mean, I'm very proud to have been a part of that era of Nickelodeon, and I know some people aren't, and I know there's a lot of chatter around it, but it was a really magical time for us and for my cast, and not to speak for everybody. And like we were saying, that era of kids television was magical and funny. And I don't know how it is now. I don't have any kids, and I'm not around children, so I don't watch it. I don't know what's on there now. Maybe it's still amazing, but it was definitely really special when I was there, and I'm lucky to have been around for that era.
Yeah, and you were on a really special, like, cool show. I agree. Cool. Like, the way you described it is...
No, parents used to be like, well, my kids aren't allowed to watch a show. I was like,
oh, wow.
I love that.
Let's talk about the fact that you're married to music producer Michael Corcoran. Is that your new last name? Did you change it? No. Am I saying it right? Corcoran?
Yeah, Corcoran. Like Corcoran Real Estate. No relation.
Right. Yes. So while you're on Victorious, you and Michael meet, right?
Well, yeah, it was, yes, I met him on Victorious, and then after the show ended, I really wanted to date him, and I I just fell in love with him, and we started dating, I guess, in like 2013, around there. And then I was just blown away. At that time, I had been acting at that point since I was maybe 10. And I had nothing in common with anybody, any boy my age, nor could I sit near them or talk to them because even the lovely guys on the show, they were like my family. And I just had no luck. I had no luck falling for anybody within the realm of my age. And I was so blown away by Michael's talent, which has always been the big driver for me, even with friends. I'm just so blown away by talent. And I had never kind of met anybody as musically talented as he was. And he and I became friends after Victoria's ended. And then we started dating. And we've been together ever since. And he's one of the most, if not the most musically talented person I know. And and incredibly kind and good. And I'm very lucky. I feel lucky to have found love that early. And we have a very beautiful life, and I feel lucky about that.
It's so cute. And Michael is one of the songwriters behind so many iconic Nickelodeon
all the big theme
hits.
songs, really. I think from that time, like the iCarly theme song, he co-wrote on the Victoria's theme song, Drake and Josh theme song. He wrote, I think with Drake, a bunch of them, and he scored all the shows too. Yeah. It's impressive. It's amazing. And people really love all that music.
Yeah. And like, I think too, like what you said earlier is it makes so much sense that, and we kind of alluded to this at the beginning of the interview, but like you had to grow up so fast, like, and you were playing an adult role as a kid.
I was on my like third apartment at that time. Like I need someone who like has a home and, has like a career and like I couldn't, and it's just the way the chips fell. I know what I want, and I knew that I didn't know that I would fall in love with him. I thought maybe it was just a fun challenge. I was like, this will be a good story one day. And then I fell in love with him, and I was like, oh God. And then we adopted 400 animals together, and now that we fully have a life together, obviously he's my husband, and we've been together for a very long time. And I feel very lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. And also like you saw Jeremy and I were on the run together earlier. I think like collaborating with your partner, even like before you start dating, is such a good sign of like something that could potentially work out as a long-term partnerip. And, for context for everybody listening, you guys have like a 20-year age gap, right?
Oh yeah, 21 years. And I get daily, I mean, it's just a nightmare online with people weighing in. And the funniest thing about the whole thing, it's terrible. I mean,
you guys have been together for a while.
We've been together a long time. I know, but that doesn't make it better. They think, I read the funniest thing that came up, and I'm really good at avoiding all of it. But like anything I say, like I'll say this whole interview today, and then they'll put like, what's the sad Billie Eilish song? The one that's like they'll put that behind it, and they'll be like, she doesn't even realize what she's saying is brain. And I'm like, no, I'm just happily married. It's okay. It happens.
And
it's
you guys collaborate a decent bit together.
We do.
And I like what you've said though about like you're very intentional with when you work together and when you don't.
Yes,
so like let's talk a little bit about that.
Musicians, I mean, I think like any two creative people and any two musicians, you have to pick and choose. You know what I mean? Like when you work together, if it's worth it, if it's going to be a fighting situation, because we're both very strong-willed and we're both very opinionated when it comes to music. And he's usually right, but I sometimes it's just like a taste thing. And if it's not worth like what could ultimately be a fight, I don't want to do it. Like on Dynasty, they wanted me to sing early on, and it got a little, I was like, well, let my husband do the track and let me do the vocals. I comp my own vocals and record myself for everything. And he was big in helping me learn how to do all of that. And I think it's great for any woman in the music industry or who does anything with music and their voice to be able to record and comp their own vocals. And he did like all the songs for Dynasty with me. He did the tracks and he mixed them, and it's great to just have the cast come over our home and do it there. And we're a good team. And it's very nice having somebody that skilled and talented around. It's a big help. Just like you guys work together. I mean, to be able to do it all in-house is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and to be able to work with somebody that's going to tell you how it is, like without sugarcoating it at all is, such a gift.
Yeah.
And just like, it's cool that you're able to work with somebody that speaks the language.
He does.
So
I mean, sometimes
rare.
we don't even my favorite thing is we'll be out somewhere and there'll be like a chord he knows I love or that I like come on the speaker of something and I'll just go like that and he'll be like, that's the 5, you love the 5, or that's the 2, because he knows all the music theory stuff that I don't know. And yeah, I think the shorthand of that and having extensive, I said to someone the other day, I'm like, I don't think if anything happened, I don't think I could ever be with anyone who didn't have the like deep, extensive musical knowledge that Michael has. I think I'd lose my mind. It's just something that matters to me. So anyway, yeah.
It's so cool how like music and acting is something that like you love both, like
I do.
Equally.
I do. I love them equally. Sometimes I'll be mad at one and I'll go to the other one, but no, I love them both so much. I can't pick really.
When you were leaving Victorious, like when the show ended, we talked a little bit about how you have to be resilient in this industry. Did you ever have moments where Victorious ended and you were like, what do I want to go into next? Because I know you did a horror film and then you did a comedy film.
I did a Lifetime movie called Killing Daddy.
Yeah, very different, like to go horror and then comedy. So like, did you have a moment where you were like, well, what should I?
Do you think Killing Daddy is a comedy? In many ways it was.
Was it?
No.
No, there was a horror and then there was a comedy film,
I did
right?
a horror movie called Animal. You don't need to know this. These are not big projects. But your research is impressive. And then I did a Lifetime movie called Killing Daddy, which it brands itself as a psychological thriller. I think it's a comedy. And it's like a camp, like in the same vein as Mommy Dearest, if you've ever seen that. But my performance isn't as good. Anyway, we don't need to talk
She's
about Killing
like,
Daddy.
you psycho, do you think this is a comedy? I'm like,
no, I love it. I love that you did, because in a way you're right. I was like, well, it's just like, is anyone going to hire me? I got very nervous after Victorious because
how old were you? Yeah.
Victorious when it ended?
Yeah.
18.
Young.
So yeah, it was like 18 or 19, maybe 19. I don't remember. It was one or the other. And I was like, oh God, will people not hire me now because they only see me as like a kid actor? And it was freaking me out because I'd been warned. But then I booked the FX show, and ironically, I booked the FX show because even though it was an adult show where I was playing like a young rocker daughter to Dennis Leary, this comedian, this famous comedian, one of the producers' kids had seen me on Victorious, and Dennis was like, oh, how funny would it be to cast someone from Nickelodeon on this racy adult TV show? And that's why I got cast, I think, and also I was right for the part. But that was a great example of it working in my favor, and I'm really grateful for that. But then I did CW, which is like the logical next step after Nickelodeon. So I went kind of like...
And then pretty quickly, like you were 23 when you booked Dynasty, right? And you started acting in that for the first time. So 19 to 23, that's pretty fast.
No, not even that. I did Sex and Drugs when I was 20. I don't even think it was a year. That's what I'm saying. Like I cry like, oh, I'll never work again. And then, yeah. No, my biggest and longest gap, even though it was sort of an intentional gap, was probably after Dynasty, which was recent, the last 2-3 years. But I did I learned to drive again in that time. I stopped driving. So I did a lot of like life things that I was like, why don't you like, you're 30, why don't you learn to drive a car again?
Yeah, no, that's
and, like,
on
reconnect
my list.
with your friends and like, plant a garden and calm down for a minute. And I did, and it was good.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. Like Dynasty, I was watching an interview that you did where you were saying that you never knew going into it how many seasons Dynasty would end up being.
No, you always sign on for 6 no matter what. But like they don't go for 6. They usually go for like 2. And that one went for 5, which is amazing.
How many years?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, 9 or 10 months out of the year.
And you filmed like 100 plus episodes?
108. It was a lot. And by the way, how lucky am I to be able to have that kind of consistent work and success? I'm not taking that for granted. It was just a lot. It was like, I missed like every possible life event in that time just because I was working, which is what I wanted to do. So again, I'm not like a victim. It was a blessing and a gift to have a job like that. It was just I wanted to take time after that job to have a bit of normal life because it was so time consuming in a different kind of way. Because theater's like 2 hours. They don't care where you come from or where you're going next. You just have to go do your job for 2 hours and then good luck. I kind of love that.
How do you keep going though? Like what is the trick to like stamina in that situation? Because it's like, yeah, when you're filming for 5 years, same character,
the people I worked
show.
with. I really did. I loved the people I worked with. On that show, The Clothes kept me going a little bit. They were really good. And I learned a lot about fashion on that show, and I made really great relationships, which I've carried with me. But no, it's like you're in the trenches with these people and you get close to them. I got really close with hair and makeup, really close with my cast. The writers, it's like, you have to be able to laugh. I think you just have to be able to laugh and find ways to de-stress, something I was not very good at during that show. Once my husband moved there and my dogs and everything, and I got married and then we moved there, it all happened during that time. That was a huge help because being able to come home and like he'd always have like, it's a small thing, but he'd always have a candle lit for me, which is like I want to walk in and smell. I'm very into like candles and smells, and so.
What were your methods to like chilling out? You know, going home with the dogs, candle lit, hanging out with your husband. Like what else?
I would get a massage. Try to get a massage once a week, just like so I couldn't be on my phone and so I could be like quiet and relaxed a little bit. And I don't really know. I really wasn't good at it, to be honest. I carried the job with me every single day, and I acted like a producer on it, even though I definitely wasn't. I was too involved and I was too obsessed with it. And but that's how I get with projects. I go all in. I want to like help promote it. I want to do that on my Instagram. I make these like tasks and promises for myself and to myself that aren't really required of me, but I go all out when I'm passionate about something, and when I have my name on something, I want it to be a success. So anything I can do, I'll do.
Let's talk a little bit about Little Shop of Horrors, because you have been doing it since February. It feels like it's gone so quickly. What has it been like being back on Broadway, being back with Graham Phillips, who was one of your co-stars on 13? Like, what has this journey been like for you?
It's been amazing. It's been so much more fulfilling than I ever could have anticipated. I knew that it would be a challenge. I knew that it would be very hard for me in the beginning vocally. And it's continued to be hard for me. And now actually I'm finally coming to a point where it's much less difficult for me, which is amazing. I've gotten kind of like my sea legs back, or my vocal muscles back, or whatever. But more than that, what it's done for me mentally and emotionally, I think I never could have guessed. It's really been probably the most meaningful project I've ever worked on, just because of where it came in my life, and like the timing of the whole thing, and also just what it was. I've wanted to play this role, and I've wanted to be in the show since I was a kid. So the fact that it happened when I was sort of like done with everything and I didn't want to act anymore. So taking on this challenge at this kind of point in my life, and it bringing me back, and then it also having it be my dream role of so long has been amazing. And I grew so much closer to the people I'm working with than I ever thought I could have. I mean, I love everybody at that show so much. It's such a special place, and we've had so much fun. And yeah, my family and all my friends close to me are just like, it's so nice to see you this happy and having so much fun, because I think it was like a big part of what I wanted to do forever was musical theater, and you sort of get busy doing other things. And so when you're back doing like the true thing that made you fall in love with it, the only thing I've really been trained for is musical theater. Like everything else I sort of guessed and figured it out. But I only took like musical theater classes and improv classes weirdly growing up. So this has just been, it's been the most fulfilling thing in the entire world. It's been amazing. It's life-changing.
I love when actors go back to their roots and, start performing on Broadway again. I think
you get
so
called
cool.
back. Like it's like they're like, wait, before you stop doing this, we're going to send you to this one. And then it's like this opportunity presented itself. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. I'm not done at all. Not at all.
Right. It's amazing. You go from Dynasty to grinding filming those episodes to then being like, I need to take a little bit of time off. And then you're right back in like the hot seat on Broadway.
I can do this grind though. Yeah. This grind is like, maybe because it's a different grind too.
Yeah.
This is a good grind for me right now. And again, I love the live of it all.
Do you think you'll stay? I mean, I know you're going to take a little bit of time off once once your part on the show ends. Yeah. Do you think you'll go back to live theater though? Like, are there?
I hope so. I'm dying to. I'd love to. I would do it as soon as like fall or winter, maybe. Because I always say I want to take a big break, and then 4 days in, I don't know how you are, but I'm like, okay, I'm ready to work again. I need to do something. I'm either in work mode or I'm in not work mode, and they're both like perma mode. So it's like I say I want to take a break, but it only means like, because now I'm back into like my working obsessed headspace, maybe 2 weeks.
Well, thank you so much for being with me here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, let's do a couple final shout outs.
Okay.
So Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors, I'm only in it, until July 27th. So that's really soon. It's 2 weeks away, the day after my birthday, which is also symbolic and crazy. And so that's the next thing. And then I have a couple other little things that I can't talk about yet, but that's the main thing right now. I'm just wrapping up this project, and we'll see what comes next.
Let's give one final piece of advice, kind of reflecting on everything we just talked about, but knowing what you know now, what would you tell your younger self?
I would say as well as you think you know yourself when you're at a certain point in your life and you're like, I know for certain I'm never going to go do this thing again, or I'm done, or you can surprise yourself. Just you're never too old to surprise yourself and to fall back in love with something or to challenge yourself. And you're never really done when you think you're done. There's usually many more levels to go. So I would say keep pushing, keep persevering.
Keep moving.
Just keep moving.
Yeah.
See, you tied it
That's
in.
really high.
That's why you have this show.
It's so true. It
is true though. You probably have one more mile in you, right? When you think you're done.
Yeah.
You probably do.
Well, it's also just like, I feel like movement translates so much more than just physical. And obviously it's fun to start with physical movement because it's like movement.
I did feel like I had taken like an Adderall or something when I sat down. I felt very clear and hyper. That's probably why I talked so much.
Yeah, it's so nice. It's like instead of having a drink, you can just go for a run.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, maybe I'll start doing that when it cools down.
One thing that I want to ask you before we wrap is, because you and Ariana are such good friends and you guys have both gone on to lead these incredible careers, do you two ever look back and reflect and say like, oh my God, I can't believe like this is where we've come?
We do it all the time. We actually really do. We're big reminiscers and we are constantly checking in on each other, but also like checking in on where we are and where we started and how surreal it all is. And I will always send her things too, to just be like, do you understand that you're nominated for an Oscar? I mean, things like that. It's just unbelievable. It's wonderful. It's very cool that we've gotten to share so many of these milestone moments together. And yeah, we're proud of each other. It's great to have a friend that you
grow with.
That you grow with and to go on this journey with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's a wrap.
Thank you.
Thank you.